doesn't love a good video game boss battle? Well, yeah, I know we all do, but here's the thing, my friends. Unfortunately, today I've got to get a bit of a shuffle on. I've got avocados in the fridge that need eating, so I'm going to need to take a look at thinking outside of the box to put these guys in one 6 feet under. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 of the most unique ways that you killed video game bosses.
Hello everyone, Scott from WhatCulture, and we're absolutely delighted to say that today's video is sponsored by Biomutant, so strap in. Biomutant is the long-awaited open-world post-apocalyptic RPG from Experiment 101 and THQ Nordic, combining a unique playstyle of genetic recoding with an incredible martial arts-style combat system. No matter how you prefer to dispatch your gaming gribblies, you have maximum freedom to match your playstyle accordingly. Whether you class yourself as a run-and-gunner, a melee maestro, or just someone with an unhealthy interest in the powers of your own mutations, you'll be playing your way. Plus, you can seek out various masters hidden throughout the world to learn new Wung Fu combat forms, constantly adding to your choices and ensuring combat never gets old. I mean, just watch this and tell me it doesn't make you want to play immediately. All this and so much more means it's easily one of the year's most anticipated releases. Biomutant arrives May 25th for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Number 10. Pay your Jimbo to cast Zanmato, insta-killing every boss. Final Fantasy X. The Final Fantasy franchise offers up plenty of unique methods for defeating bosses, such as killing dead enemies using Phoenix Downs or maybe even just doing nothing at all. But perhaps the weirdest of the lot occurs in Final Fantasy X, where players can effectively pay their summon Yojimbo to kill any enemy, even bosses, with its one-hit kill ability, Zanmato. Now, Yojimbo requires money to be used in combat, and the more money that you pay him, the more likely he is to use the Zanmato during a fight. And every time he uses it, the likelihood of him using it again the next time increases. But that means that players who do their homework can basically exploit this to cheese their way through boss fights. Though it's absolutely a legitimate game mechanic, some have effectively used it to save scum their way to an easy boss kill by simply reloading the game if Yojimbo doesn't execute the move. Pretty clever. Number 9. Hide behind a rock and let Master Guy kill himself. Borderlands 2. Now, there are many ways to cheese a multitude of Borderlands bosses, but this one here requires you to do very little, and can be found in Captain Scarlet and her Pirate's Booty DLC for Borderlands 2. So frustrated players who are struggling to defeat the fiendishly difficult raid boss Master Guy the Invincible can take advantage of an exploit by just, hiding behind a rock. To be clear, you first need to get Guy to fully absorb at least one acid pool, after which all you'll need to do is crouch behind a large rock near the entrance to the arena. Because Guy cannot reach the player here but will continue to receive acid damage status for the rest of the fight, he will eventually acid himself to death without the player having to do anything. Now, be warned though, the boss will take around 40 or so minutes to croak this way, so you're better off setting up the fight and just going for a walk or cooking dinner or just doing something else entirely. But still, an easy victory awaits you. Number 8. Waste all your ammo and Incubus dies instantly. Silent Hill. Despite its relatively unforgiving difficulty and intense atmosphere, the original Silent Hill throws struggling players something of a lifeline if they manage to make it to the final boss of the Good or Good Plus endings Incubus without any ammo. Though presumed to be a glitch at the time of the game's release, in actual fact, Konami built a mechanic into the final fight which allowed players to prevail even if they ran short of bullets and seemingly had no way to win. So you can score yourself an easy victory here by emptying all of your guns before entering the final room to battle Incubus, and then firing all of your guns into the air to demonstrate that they're empty. Doing so will trigger Incubus's sudden death and the end of the game. Silent Hill 2 also reused this trick on its final boss, basically confirming that it wasn't a glitch, though the third game sadly afforded no such quarter, making you look like a bit of a tit if you did it there. Number 7. Watering a plant and killing it in one hit. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Some 14 years after The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker was first released, a player stumbled across a novel and totally unexpected solution for defeating the Forbidden Woods boss Deimos in just a single hit. Though you generally need to attack him using Link's sword and boomerang, one enterprising player randomly decided to see what would happen if they poured some forest water onto the giant creature. Now, while players assumed for more than a decade that forest water was only useful during a particular side quest to receive a piece of heart, it turned out that it would also kill Deimos instantly, ending the fight in a matter of moments. As unthinkable as it is for somebody to even consider using water against the boss, it's still totally fascinating that this went undiscovered by obsessive Zelda fans for almost an entire 15 years. Number 6. Hit the Naval Piranha with an egg before it grows. Super Mario World 2: Yoshi's Island. So you can save yourself quite the headache in World 3 of Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island by killing the Naval Piranha before Kamek can even show up to embiggen it with his magic, kickstarting the regular boss fight. This sneaky battle skip can be achieved by leaping onto the platform where the small yet not yet transformed plant is and sticking to the leftmost edge, such that you don't trigger Kamek's arrival and the beginning of the fight proper. On the edge of this platform, throw one of your eggs at the plant's smaller form and you will kill it without any resistance. This is followed by a sequence where Kamek rides in, exclaims "Oh my" upon seeing what you've done, and promptly flies off, ending the world on a hilariously anticlimactic note. Yet, considering that you need only step a few inches onto the platform to trigger the real boss fight, this is almost impossible to stumble across by accident. Number 5. Summon Black Iron Tarkus to destroy Iron Golem for you. Dark Souls. Now, I know that saying that summoning people in to kill a boss for you in Dark Souls or any of the From Software games isn't really considered to be a unique way. This kind of is, because when you summon in Black Iron Tarkus, you have to do bugger all. You can just stand there and let him absolutely tank the golem. He does it in about 90 seconds by himself. He's an absolute ledge. So here, I think that this definitely qualifies because, well, you can just put the kettle on, or just laugh at the Iron Golem failing absolutely dramatically. Number 4. Rig the room with mines before fighting Darth Malak. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Knights of the Old Republic's tricky final boss battle sees players facing off against the Dark Lord Darth Malak, and if you dare to battle him the conventional way, you're in for quite a tough ride. But players eventually realised and popularised a far easier method for dispatching Malak, and much like the aforementioned Super Mario World 2 boss fight, it requires you taking advantage of the fact that you actually have to move forward a little bit to trigger the battle. But smart players found out that they could instead use this time to set a fatal trap for Malak, placing every mine in their inventory on the walkway, ideally in the same spot. Once you then trigger the battle, all you need to do is quickly disable the unconscious Jedi that Malak uses to heal, allowing you to lure him into your trap and detonate the mines. If you've planted enough of them in the same spot, he'll die instantly. Huzzah! Now, guaranteed, it's not exactly the most epic, heroic, or Star Wars-y death for a major villain, but it can save you a ton of time and stress figuring out how to defeat him the legit way. Number 3. Conduct electricity through Samus to electrocute Dragon. Super Metroid. The conventional way to defeat Super Metroid's tough boss Dragon is to pelt him in the stomach with missiles until he's dead, though the game actually allows creative players to rustle up an altogether simpler solution. For starters, shooting the cannons attached to the walls will expose the dangerous electric current flowing inside, after which you'll need to let Dragon grab Samus and start flying around. Wait until you're within grappling distance of one of the exposed outlets and use your grappling beam to attach to it. This will allow you to conduct electricity through Samus's body and turn Dragon into a crispy critter in mere seconds. You'll lose about 60 HP yourself while doing so, but considering how it otherwise turns a battle into a total joke, it's absolutely worth it. Number 2. Feed the Fear rotten food to drain his stamina. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. The Metal Gear Solid franchise contains some of the most unique solutions to boss battles in the entire history of video games. But considering that we all know by now about the Psycho Mantis controller trick, or Metal Gear Solid 3 allowing players to defeat the end by winding their system clock forward and killing him of old age, let's take a look at something a bit different today. In the third game's forest battle against the Predator-esque Cobra unit member the Fear, there are numerous ways to dispatch the stealthy, fast-moving antagonist, such as using a feigned death pill to get the drop on him, or using a combination of stun grenades and thermal goggles, but by far the most creative means to do away with the Fear involves exploiting his status as a hunter-gatherer. You can quickly score a stamina kill by throwing out rotten and or poisoned food onto the forest floor, which the Fear will seek out and eat. This will immediately cause him to fall ill and lose a large chunk of stamina, while also allowing you to pop some tranq rounds into him and quickly putting him down. They say that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, and they're not wrong here. And number 1, let the conveyor belt take care of Abodo, Double Dragon for the NES. The end of Double Dragon's first level will see players facing off against a hulking, potato known as Abodo inside a warehouse, where the conventional method for victory requires players to land a number of kick strikes against him, but there is a far simpler solution if you're observant enough to notice the location of the fight, and in particular, the fact that there's a large conveyor belt switched on in the foreground. Players who kick time correctly can knock Abodo onto the belt, leaving him absolutely helpless as he's sent falling to his doom in a seemingly bottomless pit. It's also worth bearing in mind that Abodo can do the same thing to the player, but even so, it's still a much quicker and easier way than wailing on him the proper way, because look at him, he's made of steroidal meat. Take a plunge, big boy. And there we go, those were the 10 most unique ways that you killed video game bosses. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice, that's Dice with a C, where I do all of my streaming outside of work, and it'd be great to see you over there, my friends. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. I hope that you're treating yourself well, both mentally and physically, my friends, because you deserve love, happiness, and success. We all do as human beings, and I hope that you are achieving your life goals. I want you to go out there and absolutely smash your life goals today, and big love from me to you, my friend. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.